offense for Grady Adamson. Questions, Kelly?
I guess how do you feel like you've developed, you haven't even been here a year now,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny we're talking about that as practice today, but how do you feel like it's developed over the last 10 months being on campus?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think coming in last summer, you don't get the the full learning experience of the spring, but learning behind Haynes, especially during the season, that gave me a huge step up. I didn't have to have the pressure of possibly playing, but I knew I had Haynes to learn from every day. So I just sat back and learned from him, and then being here this spring, especially with the new offense, having to study more, learn more, read the coaches more, it's definitely gave me. I learned a lot more than I could have. So it's been good.
Luke?
Yeah, Grady. Luke Ketcher for Channel 2. 2 offenses in 2 years for you, but what's the impact of having Chris Winkie, be here for your first 2 seasons as you've changed from what the offense was last year to now a new one?
Yeah, I mean, I think towards the end of last year, I definitely started to get real comfortable with that offense, and I think all of us could use the word. And then as we got into this new offense, I mean, having Winkie is just a huge help. I mean, I'll go see him a couple times a week, go watch film with him, go over the practice stuff, and I mean, he's probably the best QB coach I could be around. Just the experience he has. I mean, that's probably just the person he is too. Make sure we know everything we need to know before we're on the field. So just having that guy makes it a lot easier.
Kelly?
Last summer, talking to guys on the team, Haynes or coaches or whatever, they all talked about he came in and were pushing everyone during summer workouts and pushing the other quarterbacks and stuff. Where does that kind of come from? And is that just the competitiveness in you, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially from Deer Creek in high school in Oklahoma, me and my friends always push each other real hard every day. So I mean, we took working out and running super serious down there with our strength and conditioning program. So that was kind of just the culture and the mindset I already had coming up. So when I got here, I just kept going, and then I don't know, it's definitely made the other guys better, and it's fun to just push each other and get better. So it's been good.
Grady, you were known kind of as an improviser back at Deer Creek, just making big time plays. It's kind of, how's your game elevated from that point? And you're still throwing a little bit of the improvisation in there as well.
Yeah, I think now, especially going into college, I've definitely learned more of where I want to go pre-snap, more defense post-snap. So just keep learning on that stuff, and seeing the coverage and knowing the routes, where they're going to break it, if they're breaking out, breaking in. I probably didn't have all that knowledge in high school. I kind of just relied more on my ability, but I've definitely taken another step on just learning the real football stuff in here.
Rob?
As far as your fit, in the offense under the old offense as opposed to now, do you feel like you're a better fit in either one, or how has that progressed?
Yeah, I mean, I think Haynes last year, they ran him a good amount, which I did in high school. I think I fit into that offense pretty well, but I think this year, maybe there's some more in the pocket passing stuff, but they still use my running ability and give me some read plays. So I think either way, maybe there's not as many run plays, but they still use my ability. So
Charles?
Grady, I always pay attention to coaches when they bring up certain players unprompted. Earlier in the spring, he brought your name up as a guy who's really working hard. How does that make you feel when you hear your head coach talking about the work ethic that you're putting forward, and making sure you put your name in this quarterback competition as well?
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel good. I try to, everything we do out there, I'm trying to be the first in that guy, and just win everything we do. So. I think that does stem from high school, just competing against my friends and my teammates back home. But I don't like to leave, so it's definitely feels good though when it's recognized.
Luke?
Coming in last year, you guys obviously knew who the quarterback was. There's no question about that. But this year, how do you balance learning the new offense, getting up to speed with a potential quarterback battle here through the spring and camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just makes us all better, honestly. We're not it's not very it's not political at all. We're just competing every day. Taking up every one play at a time. So, we're all trying to learn it too. So we'll deal with each other. Go over stuff together. We all want to be the best we can in this offense, and just not having the guy yet does help us just keep competing and keep getting better every day.
Tell me like one or two things you like about the new offense with Coach Gotze that he's doing that maybe clicks for you.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't run that much under center stuff in high school, but I've had fun with the under center stuff, and just more of the the play action stuff out under center, or even just there's honestly more checks and stuff that they give us the ability to do this year than they did last year, at least for me. So that part's been fun.
Go Ken and Garrett.
Coach Wenke had mentioned that there's a lot of verbiage in this office, and I'm curious kind of how it compares in terms of complexity with what you did before.
Yeah, there's definitely is more verbiage. I wouldn't say, it's too much more than it was last year, but there's definitely a lot more like little details in each thing, and there's a lot more, like there's just a bit more formations, more just little words throughout the offense that we didn't have last year. So there's more depth in it.
Garrett.
What is the relationship in this quarterback room right now?
Yeah. We're all pretty close. We get back from practice, we're all hanging out in the locker room over there, hanging out in the hot tub. I think, especially last year, because of last year, like I came in, all those guys were best friends. So, that's just the kind of the standard that I knew coming in. And, we just keep getting to know each other more. And we don't have any. I wouldn't say we've had any like bad moments. We're just all friends having a good time.
Go ahead and wrap up right over here.
Coach Wenke mentioned Saturday he wants to see his quarterbacks really operate the offense. What's going to be the focus for you in this spring game?
Yeah, I think it all starts, just getting the play from Godsey, getting in the huddle, making sure everybody knows what they're doing, and then getting into the line of scrimmage and seeing the defense, know where I want to go, and just even post snap, just seeing the coverage, and then making a good decision.